Okay, today we are going to go over your shapes a little bit. I'm using that shift key again, as well as working on overlapping and dividing, cutting up different shapes, as well as adjusting the opacity level and colors of your different shapes. Sounds like a lot, but it'll be easy. Just follow along, pause whenever you need to. First off, we're going to create a curved rectangle and a perfect circle. And what I mean by curved rectangle is a rectangle with curved edges. So let's go to our shape tool, hold your clicker down, your mouse down, and instead of rectangle tool, go to your rounded rectangle tool. Open that up, and as you form your shape, hold on to your mouse, and you can change the size of those curves by your up and down arrow keys on your keyboard. You have up, down, left, right arrow keys. If you go up, it's going to create an even greater curve. If you go down, it's going to minimize the curve to where you can almost just hit perfect square or perfect rectangle. But I want some curves to my rectangle, so I'm going to go up with my arrow keys by just clicking the up arrow several times. Then this whole time I'm holding down on my mouse. So I'm going to let go, and there's my shape. Next, I'm going to create a perfect circle. And by creating, how I can create a perfect circle is by using the wonderful shift key. So let's go back to our shapes on the left. Hold it down. I want to go to the ellipse tool. And as I drag and form to make a circle, notice how if I don't hold the shift key, it can be any size. I'm going to hold the shift key, and voila, there's a perfect circle. I'm going to let go. That whole time I was holding down on my mouse. And if you look up at the very top, this is how I'm going to figure out if you guys actually followed instructions. The width of the circle, W, width, is the exact same as the H, height of your circle. It's this awesome, wonderful decimal number. So that's how I'm going to check your graded assignment to see if you made a perfect circle. So if you forgot to hold the shift key, a nice little trick is to copy the width, with your keystrokes, Command C, and paste it in your height. That's a quick way, easy way to do it if you didn't hold the shift key. Command V to paste. Okay, so now I have my two shapes. The last thing I want you to do is remove the stroke color. I didn't have a stroke color on my shape, but in case you have a black outline, I'm going to go back to my selection tool and take a look. Yuck! I want to get rid of that just to have a smooth process and learn how to take off the stroke color and get you guys working with the difference between the fill color and the stroke color. So I want you to click the circle, remove the stroke, make sure it's that slash, and there you are. Next, what I'm going to have you do, first off, personally, I'm going to zoom in. And by zooming in on my document, that is by holding your command key and the plus. Nice quick way of zooming in. If I go minus, I zoom out. And I'm going to select my objects and copy them and paste them over here. So selecting them, copy, our nice command key again, Command C. And to paste, I just hit Command V. And there we are. Now notice how my objects are overlapped. That's what I want to make sure you have here. Your two objects, rectangle, circle, overlap, one on top of the other. Next, we're going to open up what is called the Pathfinder window. Pathfinder is a graphic designer's best friend in Illustrator. I can't tell you how many times I've used Pathfinder. At the very top of your screen, you go to Window, scroll down, and go to the Pathfinder. Whatever is checked is whatever you can see in Illustrator. Currently, Pathfinder is not checked, so I can't see my Pathfinder window. So I'm going to click it, and here it opened up over here in the corner. It might open up somewhere else for you. Doesn't matter. Wherever it opened up, we are going to use what is called the divide tool. It's this guy in the bottom left corner. See, you have several different shapes that are kind of broken up. This tool will be wonderful whenever you want to divide, to break up, cut up different parts of your shape into chewable pieces or edible pieces that you can move around and adjust. So I have both of my objects selected. This is very important. So if they're not selected, it won't work. So make sure they're both selected. and I'm going to divide in my Pathfinder. Click. Now my two objects are what is called grouped together. I can move them all at once. I can click all of them by just clicking one object. So I want to ungroup, and by doing, or how I can do that is at the very top, go to Object, scroll down, Ungroup. A quick keystroke to do that I've become familiar with and you might want to learn: to group objects together, you select them and it's Command G, it groups. To ungroup, it's Command Shift G. You don't have to know that, just a nice little nifty grouping trick. Now I can grab just the bits and pieces of the object. I'm going to move them around, rearrange, and here we go. They're all broken up into bits and pieces. This is a wonderful tool. I love using it, and I think you will too. Once you get into designing logos, designing anything, you can break it up and cut it up. The last thing that we are going to do is work on opacity and overlapping and changing colors. So what I'm going to have you do is select all of your objects again, all of the broken up objects here from the part 2, copy, Command C, paste down here, Command V, and now we're going to overlap again and change the opacity of the shapes and the colors and all that. So I'm just going to start rearranging. I can even turn this around a little bit off of the corner here, change up the shapes. Now they're all, and I can change the size too if I wanted, adjust the, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle at this shape because it's already up here if you left it and copied and pasted. I'm just going to kind of adjust, plop that here. I can't really see it because it's the same color, so that's why I'm going to get into this next step. Okay, they're all overlapping. Now I'm going to adjust first the color, and then I'll work on the opacity. Up here in your color window, if you're not there, you're in color guide, get to just color to where you see CMYK. This is where I want you to kind of mess around and changing your color. C stands for cyan, so you're blue. M stands for magenta, you're kind of reddish pink mostly, just your pink. Y is yellow, and K is some word I can't remember which means black. So what this is a language graphic designers use for their colors and for printing, not your primary colors like in other art classes like your color wheel. It's the CMYK. But they're pretty much the same. You have your blue, red, and yellow, kind of. It's just cyan, magenta, and yellow instead. So it's a different way that computers process color. And this is why I want you to kind of mess around with these colors, add more blue. It'll start hitting the purple direction. Take away the magenta, and it'll keep going in that blue direction. Add some more yellow. We might hit that green, yuck, muck color. And then it'll get darker if you add black, the K. So adjust those colors, get different variety to whatever shape you're on. Click another shape. I'm going to change this one around too. Maybe make it a little purple. Okay, so all three of my shapes are different colors. Now, as they are overlapped, I want to adjust the opacity, which is the transparency of the object. So clearly we're going to go to the transparency tab on your right. You might have several different windows. I believe my computer is not showing the tiny little boxes that you might see on the side of your window or your screen. So just click those and look around for your transparency tab should be the two overlapping objects. So just click all of them and find the window. They're just different ways that the windows are stored. And you want to get to the transparency window. Click that, and here we are at opacity. So it's 100%, the purest amount of color that an object can be. If I drop the opacity, it will drop the transparency, or it'll be like adding water to watercolors. So I'm going to bring this color to 50% and see how as it overlaps the other objects, you can see the objects behind and in front. And so if I dropped or changed the opacity to this object, say 75, it's still overlapping and you can still see it behind, or this is actually in front of the other object. Also, I want you to be able to know how to change the layer of your object, or the position your object is, whether it's on top or behind. If you have an object that you can't see, and because it's behind another object, this is what is called layers. So these are all separate layers on top of each other. Say I wanted the blue layer, this blue shape on top. What I'll do is right click. So on your Mac, so you have a computer, a mouse that doesn't have a right click on the right, so you have to use a key on your keyboard. We went over this before, and it's holding the control key on your keyboard while you click, and it'll right click. So say I wanted to bring this object to the front, this layer to the front of all the other objects. I go down to Arrange, Bring to Front. You can bring an object to the front, all the way to the front, all the way to the back, or just move it up and back, forward and back. So I want to bring it to the front, and now it's on top of this object. So adjust the layers, adjust the opacity levels. This one I want to be, I'll say 25. And layer them and mess around in your CMYK colors. And that is it for the assignment today. So what we've just done is created a rectangle, rounded corners, adjusted the curve on each corner. We've overlapped those two objects, copied and pasted here, opened up our Pathfinder window and broken up all of the objects so you can move and adjust them. We have layered and changed the color of all of the objects, as well as the opacity, the transparency of each object. When you finish all of these 3 steps, what I want you to do is take an image or several images off the internet, copy it, paste it, and then trace the image with the pen tool or shape tools. What I want you to do is to create several shapes off of the image, overlap, divide, do all that we did in this tutorial, and adjust the levels of opacity and the colors. Now, something I did not mention before is that in order for an image to stay in a document, you have to do what is called embed. Once you paste an image in your document, I'll show an example. I'm going to go to Google and type puppy. And let's go to images. So I'm going to copy a picture. This is cute. I'm going to do that one. So first off, if I copy this size, this is a pretty small size. If I want to get to a larger size, I'll go to View Original Image, and it'll bring me to the actual large image. So then I'll right click, holding Control, click, copy image. In Illustrator, I'm going to paste the image. It can be anywhere. So Command V, plops it in there. I just copied a huge image, so this is going to take a little bit. Awesome. Now at the top here you have a little button here that says embed. Mine did it automatically. Generally Illustrator does not do that. So if this is not clicked, click it, embed, and the image is stuck in the file. I will be able to see it if I open it up on another computer. If you don't, it's doing what is called linking the image, which is just connecting it to the internet site that you copied it from. So if I'm not on your computer and I open up this document, I won't see the image unless you embed it. You basically are dropping this image in permanently into your document. Okay? So that's what I want you to do if you have extra time, is to find any image, maybe a logo design, a simple cartoon, create shapes off of that image by using your pen tool or the actual shape tools, and again, doing what we did today earlier, adjust the levels of the opacity and the colors, etc. All right, here we go.